Hi, everybody. Thank you very much for having me today. I've been enjoying this conference immensely, listening to all the different opportunities that are out there. And I agree. I particularly enjoyed listening to the students just now and hearing especially what matters from their perspective, because that is really what motivates all of us in our jobs. So that was really useful to me. I'm going to talk a little bit about an initiative that we have at the University of Virginia, which is a class that we teach that involves both hiking and then talking about the benefits of nature on mental health and also physical health. I just a little bit about me. I work at the Department of Student Health and Wellness at the University of Virginia. So I am a physician. I'm a pediatrician by training. And I actually lead our medical clinic, which means I'm in charge of all of the student health visits on the medical side. And at the University of Virginia, we have over 40,000 visits a year. So we're really busy there, but trying to carve out time to add exposure to nature to our wellness toolkit. So in 2020, we created a class. The name of the class on CIS is Engaging Nature for Health and Well-Being. And starting this in 2020 was really timely. Yeah, I don't need to change slides yet. I have hardly any slides, but starting this in 2020 was really timely because it was, the midst of the pandemic. And at UVA, students, we were in school, but most of their classes were remote. They were spending a lot of time in their dorms and in their apartments, going to class, just sitting in their rooms. And this class then was very fortuitous because we were able to get outside, be together, and really be engaged with both the community and the environment. So you can see a picture of us here. We all have our masks on because this is 2020, and this is a blurb sort of highlighting our class. So I think I can move on. So when we start our class, we recognize that students, like the students we've heard from today, go from a really busy, almost, frantic academic and extracurricular schedule. And so we want to have a pause between that and our class, because our class is about engaging nature for health and well-being. So we really want to sort of just have a distinction between the busy life and what we're trying to teach in our class. So we always start with a poem. This one is by Barbara Crooker. And since we start with a poem, I'm going to read you this poem, just like we would in a normal class. I want to tell you something. This morning is bright after all the steady rain, and every iris, peony, rose opens its mouth, rejoicing. I want to say, wake up, open your eyes. There's a snow-covered road ahead, a field of blankness, a sheet of paper, an empty screen. Even the smallest insects are singing, vibrating their entire bodies, tiny violins of longing and desire. We were made for song. I can't tell you what a prayer is, but I can take the breath of the meadow into my mouth, and I can release it for the leaves' green need. I want to tell you your life is a blue coal, a slice of orange in the mouth, cut hay in the nostrils. The cardinal's red song dances in your blood. Look, every month the moon blossoms into a peony, then shrinks to a sliver of garlic, and then it blooms again. So I love that poem, so I thought I would share that particular one. We can move on to the next. But that's how we sort of start every single class. And so here's some nitty gritty about our class. So this is the seventh, currently we're teaching this class. It's the seventh semester that we've taught the class. And what is unique about our class is that it is taught by physicians. So we actually have 5 physicians teaching this class. We started it with 3 physicians, but then we wanted to add a psychiatrist because of the mental health literature and her expertise in that area. And so we have 5 physicians teaching this class, and that's really helpful because this is not the main part of our jobs, for better or for worse. And it allows us to really rotate teaching the class. And so we can see patients in clinic, but then also get out every 4 or 5 weeks and teach the class. It's 16 weeks long. one other thing, if people in this conference are coming from student health centers and thinking about how to set this up, at the University of Virginia, we need an appointment. We need an affiliation with a school in order to teach a class. So I'm a faculty member, but I am not affiliated with the school. And so we were able to partner with the School of Education so that they could pair up with us in terms of getting us on CIS, really, so that we could teach this class. So thinking about barriers like that, logistical administrative barriers within your university settings is useful. It's a pass-fail class that we teach. We feel like that's very important, so that people can really just focus on being outside and engaging with nature. It's 1 credit hour. We teach just on Thursday afternoons. I got to teach yesterday. Was fabulous. We were walking through a river, but logistically what this means is that if the class starts at 2:30 and ends at 5, which is a 1 credit hour class at the University of Virginia, we have to fit everything into that. So if we have a hike that's 10 minutes from grounds, we can hike for longer than if we have a hike that's 30 or 40 minutes from grounds. And so that has to include travel time and makes us do some logistical gymnastics. And we found a sweet spot to be about 15 students in the class. So we can move on. So some of the topics that we talk again, that we teach again, this class is 16 weeks long. And we talk about night skies and how we engage with night skies and how this has changed with light pollution. So it was interesting for me to hear about the stargazing workshop. We talk about blue spaces, and we take a walk along a river and talk about how we focus so much on the woods and mountains when we're talking about nature, but really blue spaces are equally important, and especially the sound of water. We talk about awe, the positive emotion, awe, and how that can actually have a tangible benefit on health. We talk about nature and cognition, particularly positive impacts on attention and creativity. Vitamin N, I saw somebody else mentioning how many minutes outside a week. They had the same statistic as we use, 120. And so we have a class on that. And we talk about the history of parks. We are, depending on where you're going, we're about 30 to 40 minutes away at the University of Virginia from Shenandoah National Park and from the Blue Ridge Parkway access. And so talking about the park is very relevant for us. For example, in this picture that you can see right here, that is actually in a low-lying part of the park. And so we talk about historic access to the park. Shenandoah National Park was not desegregated until 1950. And so that has had historical ramifications on access to the park. And we talk through that when we go to the park. So next. Other topics, this is our whole syllabus. I'm giving you our whole syllabus here. We talk about sit spots. We encourage students to choose a sit spot at UVA and really own that spot and try to sit there during different parts of their academic year and see different seasons. We talk about nature and mental health. That's why it's really helpful to have our psychiatrist on board. We talk about climate change and mental health. We're really putting some energy into that, looking at that at the University of Virginia. We talk about forest bathing. And we talk about nature prescriptions. And it sounds like from listening to this conference that there's lots of different ways to implement nature prescriptions. In our medical clinic, we have just implemented nature prescriptions in the past month as part of a medical visit. So we will hand those out as part of a medical visit, and we're very excited about that. But we talk about them during our course as well. This is a picture of one of the classes that I taught. Again, you can see us wearing masks, but this is the Blue Ridge Tunnel. It's a tunnel that goes underneath the Appalachian Trail, Blue Ridge Parkway, Skyline Drive, Interstate 64. And it's about a mile long and was built in the late 1800s by slaves and Irish immigrants. But anyway, we get to walk through that. So next slide. So this is just some pictures of us in hiking through Central Virginia. Next slide. So on our website at the Department of Student Health and Wellness, we have a page dedicated to nature prescriptions, and we refer to some of the hikes that we go on in this class. So that's what I'm showing on this map. We try to show, this is 30 minutes from grounds. The hike is 3 miles long. We consider it easy. And Dr. Hawkins recommends this for X, Y, and Z reasons. So we really try to make it personal that way too. Next. So some take-home points that I just wanted to share from the students' perspective. We solicit their feedback really every single class, but intentionally midway through the semester and at the end of the semester. So what the students say that they like most about this class is having a variety of locations. So some locations right on grounds, and then some locations that are in Shenandoah National Park or the Blue Ridge Parkway, which are 30 to 40 minutes away, but can be more awe-inspiring sometimes because you have beautiful overlooks like this. We start with a poem, like I talked about, and that gives us a nice distinction between, really crazy everyday life and then this class where we're trying to be more present. After the poem, we always review one, two, 3, or 4 articles with students. Because this is a pass-fail class, we don't expect them to have read the articles, but we review the articles with them, including objective data to share, because that is a good way to engage curious, smart people in a topic that you're trying to share and increase interest in. At least for our students, they want to know the data, they care about the data, and we agree with that. We think that knowing data is really important. So for instance, when I talk about forest bathing, I will review a couple articles that have come out of Tokyo, where one, for instance, where they looked at people who are hiking in forest environments or walking in forest environments versus urban environments, and trying to take away the variable of walking, because we know that's beneficial, and then looking at their blood pressure and stress hormone levels. And so we'll look at pie charts and bar graphs and really look at the data. At the end of the course, we have each student create a nature prescription for themselves that really uses SMART goals. So has specific interventions that are timely. A couple other things we have found from the students' perspective, and we did not even know this when we were setting up this class, but the opportunity for meeting people from different backgrounds in this class is huge. So we have people who are from all different majors: engineering, history, political science, environmental science, first gen students, transfer students, students who are working at the art museum, students who are working in pre-law, pre-health, Greek life. So that, at the University of Virginia, people can start to really spend a lot of time with people in their majors as time goes on. And this was a wonderful way to meet people with different interests and also people from different years. So first years, hiking with fourth years, second years, third years, because again, that doesn't always happen naturally at a big university. Finally, one of our classes, they created a soup club on their way, that they would always go get French onion soup on their way home after these hikes. So they had really bonded. And so I would always recommend as a take-home point to create a soup club. So that's all I have. It's just our experience. We've been thrilled with this class, and it's just one part of a toolkit.
Jessica, thank you so much. It sounds like a terrific program. I love, as Dorothy indicated also in the chat, that you start the program with a poem, really merging the arts with nature. And also, I think you really may be unique in having a program led by campus physicians. I think that may be the only such program that we've heard about. So thank you so much for sharing all of that with us.